I want to interview Dennis Davis, who has just opened a new club. Could you tell us a little about it?
Well, I mean, I led the Palo Alto table tennis club for 25 years, but we were not a full-time club, and it was time. And so we opened a club called Pong Planet. It's about 20 minutes north of Palo Alto in San Carlos. Interestingly enough, it's the home city of Diana G, in 1988 and 1992 U.S. Olympic team member. Also on the same avenue as she lives on, or she did live.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
And so you're a full-time club, and you coach there too?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yeah, we have a team of coaches. We have a Slovakian coach, Tibor Bednar, a Chinese coach, James Guo. We have a temporary coach from Spain, Francisco, and then myself.
And how many tables?
15 tables.
So that's nice size.
It is pretty good size. Yeah, we have two different training rooms, and a blue room and the green room, so you know where you are. And most of the group training is in the green room, and then we have a lot of private lessons in the blue room.
Okay, now you have been very instrumental in junior play. Now, obviously, you started arguably one of our best female players of all time, and for the United States. And you were in charge of the Junior World Championships that we had in the United States. Isn't that like the only World Championships we've ever had in this country of any kind? And what do you think how that inspired? Because there's so many juniors playing here today.
Yeah, I think it just came at the right time, to tell you the truth. And one of the motivating reasons why I wanted to make that happen is I wanted to give our juniors a vision of where they want to be. Because when you go to the World Junior Championships, it's really exciting. You get to see the best players in the world, the next generation that are going to win Olympic medals, by the way. And we needed to give them a vision about where to go. And because before, the players, our junior players would come to the national team trials, and their goal was to make the team, and then after that, that was it really. They would go on some trips for the U.S. team, but they had no vision of going out and really competing with the rest of the world. And I wanted them to see what the rest of the world looked like, and that's what they wanted to do. And I think it inspired a group, and it just happened to come at the right time. You know, I was training Lily Zhang as well as Ariel, and they both were members of the U.S. team for that World Junior Championships in 2007 when they were 11 years old. And there was ICC had just started, ICC Table Tennis Club. The Tossman Club was fairly new as well, a full-time club there in San Jose. And I think it inspired the area, I think, to really start thinking bigger than what they were thinking.
Well, for sure, Northern California has become a hotbed for juniors. There's no little junior who just wants to walk up there and start playing. I mean, they're just the 2000 level that doesn't even begin.
Right. Well, the standard is higher now, which is just wonderful, actually.
We've got, what, a 9-year-old who's 2,400 or something like that? I mean, it's crazy, or maybe not. I mean, something like that.
It's like, wow, who's that?
But I mean, the ratings are very high for young players. That wasn't the case. In fact, Sean and I were discussing that earlier, that when he was playing, I mean, someone 12 years old, 1,500, 1,600 was high.
Yeah, it's interesting. Even to be honest, Ariel. I mean, when she made the cadet team when she was 10, and I think at that time she was around 17, 1800, and now you got a 10-year-old Krista Wong who's I think 2200 at least, you know, and so the standard is definitely getting up there, and we have to have that standard to start winning medals on the Olympic level.
So I want to get to one more point, one more subject, and that is that the ITTF is really promoting their new coaching courses. So there was the USATT coaching certification, but now the ITTF certification, a little bit much more stringent kind of rules, and a definite course guideline with certain things you have to fulfill, taking a 5-day course, et cetera, and you're like one of the first level 2 course conductors, right, that you've been certified for. So there's like, what, 92, I think, if I recall, was the number of certified level 1 coaches now.
I think it hit 100 now.
Is it hit 100? I know I'm one of them.
Yeah, right.
And Richard McGaffey did it in Colorado for me. And but now that we're talking about level 2, and now that's like a whole step up. Can you explain a little about it?
Yeah, it was definitely a step up. I mean, the first level was very focused on some basic skill knowledge. I think, for me, there wasn't any table tennis knowledge that was new because I've been coaching for so long. Because that course was built for people who were fairly new into knowledge of table tennis, but it was good fundamental stuff. But I think the best part of that course was for coaches in the U.S. who haven't been exposed to, let's say, a professional training program, is the class organization, the teaching skill part of it, which was fundamental. I think it's very important, and a lot of coaches in the U.S. who are very knowledgeable about table tennis sometimes skip that part.
There was also a lot of good drills that we did in games, that we did that for younger players. It's essential to get them interested, because just to put them in a paddle, they all think it's so easy, and then they get to the table and they find it's not so easy. And so to get the fundamentals of how to hit a ball and stuff just on a paddle.
That's right. It gives a coach a bunch of tools, essentially, that you have in the material that they provide. A very extensive book and a lot of tools that you can use, and it's really nice. And then the next level 2, is very technically oriented. It gets into the details of the physics, the biomechanics, sports psychology. So it's very in depth with all of it.
I saw something online that Richard put on that the coaches involved, they were really sweating bullets, that they would pass this course.
Well, I've been coaching a long time, but still, when you're being stared at, it's always interesting, right? So it's very instructive too, because I think a lot of coaches don't think as much about their presentation skill as they need to, and under that kind of pressure, it's always a little nerve-wracking, because there's 2 evaluation parts of the course. One is I'd say an interview, but not really an interview. It's more like a verbal test, where it's not multiple choice. They give you some topics, and you have to hit the same.
Not true false?
No, you hit the salient points. You're one-on-one with the instructor. And it's a little nerve-wracking, of course, because the book is 300-something pages, and it could be anything. And so we hit the books. And the good thing is that everybody in the course was dead serious. I mean, we put together study groups together and worked together very, very well. And it's a little nerve-wracking, but we got through it.
And so there's going to be these classes for the ITTF Level 2, and they're going to. Are there any set up currently that people could go to the USATT website and find out about?
I'm not exactly current about what's available right now, but they need to go to the usatt.org, go to the coaching portion of the website, and it should have the most recent ones listed. And if coaches are interested, they should contact the USATT, and someone like Richard McAfee, who is he's the national coaching chairman and is driving the whole push. And we're very, very lucky to have him. He's wonderful. And by the way, I think he had the highest score on the test. And so he's a wonderful person at driving this forward, really.
And I do know, just one last thing, that there's going to be a course, a level 3, that I know is their maximum, but I don't even think the ITTF has come up with what it's going to be, but there is going to be somewhat, or there is already a level 3?
Yeah, and Richard McAfee has been through it.
He passed it?
He passed it. Yeah, it was in, I think it was in Malaysia or Singapore. And the creator of the manual, Philippe Mozilov, I think is his last name, he also came to Colorado Springs to do the first one for the U.S. Level 2. So it was wonderful to have the author of the book right there teaching the course. And that was really exciting, really, because you got to really dig into his brain. He was instrumental in a lot of the growth of the high-level French table tennis organization and talent identification programs. And it was great to have him there to pick his brain about all the things that he was teaching in the book.
Well, it's good to have some standardization where, if you're going to go and take some classes, some training with a coach in California, and then you move to Mississippi, that you can kind of get the same kind of thing because it hasn't ever been that way. One guy tells you to do this, the other guy tells you to do something totally the opposite. And I guess that's still going to be the case a little bit, but a little standardization is good.
Yeah, it's a little standardization. I think it sort of closes out the wider variations of things because it does focus on physics and biomechanics, so it's sort of scientifically based, so it's not just opinions, right? And then within that range, there is a lot of flexibility of what you can do. And so it was a great course, and I think that one of the great things the ITTF did do is to create this course curriculum, because it gives countries like ours, the table tennis organization isn't large, and it takes a lot of resources to put something like this together. And it's been instrumental, I think. It's going to be instrumental, I think, in the growth of the sport in the United States to have this level of credibility in coaching education.
Thank you very much, Dennis. Good luck to you.